Hey everybody, it's Brad Bodessa from liveukulele.com. I'm gonna take this kind of under the weather opportunity to give you guys a demo of my acoustic chorus Roland amp. Really awesome amp. I've been playing through it for a couple months now and I'm really enjoying it. I had a chance to play it at a gig a couple weeks ago and it seemed to reproduce my ukulele sound very, very purely. So I was happy with that. The control panel layout is pretty simple. You have two channels to work with. Each have their own volume control. And the main instrument channel has a selector switch so you can choose two different input volumes. So if you have an active or a passive pickup, you have your channel volume here, which can be used as kind of your mixer, and use that in coordination with the master volume. You can get a good mix between the two different channels. And then you have a 3-band EQ with bass, middle, and treble controls. Then there's a chorus button which turns on and off the chorus, which is controlled with this knob here. Master volume, headphone input or output, whatever you'd like to consider it. An anti-feedback controller, which is really cool because it has an automatic setting, and if you get a little bit of feedback kind of started, then you can just have the automatic feature go and it'll pick out that one frequency really fast and it holds it there, and if you've got only one problem frequency, it's pretty awesome and you don't have to worry about feedback at all. And then of course there's your standard reverb and delay, both of which are not super, but a little bit of reverb sounds nice, so it's nice to have. And then over here on the mic channel you also have the options for phantom power, and you have your mic or line selector there. So I won't go over the second channel just because no point singing with a rotten voice like I've got, but I'll just give you a demo of the instrument channel. And it's not going to be the perfect sound because I'm going straight through my camera, but it should give you kind of an idea how it sounds. But very nice sounding amp. So it's pretty much just my ukulele louder. Of course it's not perfect, but I don't think there is a perfect solution. Every amp seems to color the instrument a little bit. This one actually, if anything, adds a little bit of punch to the notes, which could be the pickup, probably is the pickup. But it's kind of a nice thing to have almost. It gives a little more power to cut through when you're playing with, I don't know, electric instruments or something of the sort. So the EQ is pretty straightforward. I keep everything rolled off just a little bit because I'm not a big fan of a treble sound, and if you turn up the mids it'll start to feedback, and then the bass is kind of muddy with the kind of pickup I've got, which is a passive K&K big spot, I believe. So to give you an idea of what some of the different effects do, there's the chorus, which will try to feedback right off the get-go, of course. So that's the wide setting, and all these choruses are stereo, so it uses each of the two 8-inch speakers. So a kind of delayed sound is on one side and maybe not so much on the other, but it makes for a really wide sound. It sounds like the amp is the room, which is really cool. And I assume if you run it out to a PA, which you have the option for in the back, you have two stereo outs, you can get an even bigger sound. So I'm dying to try that. But then there's the wide setting, which I had it on as, which is the most obvious, and then there's a rich setting. Then there's also a space setting. They're all just a little bit different flavors, kind of different sounds. So from there, there's the reverb, which I have a little bit on of anyways, but really subtle there, but you can turn it up and it'll get kind of crazy. Just that kind of thing. With the delay, your main control is the time. You don't really get to choose how many repeats there are. I haven't counted, maybe it's the same all the way through. But it goes from short to long, and you can't change the level, so this kind of thing is not super subtle, so I'm not a big fan of that. But I'm sure somebody could use it. And then, if I can't break my camera's microphone, I'll see if I can show you the feedback, the automatic feedback thing, which is cool. You also have your normal sweep, which is across the top here, and you can manually set it, but it seems like if you get the auto going, if you have the time to set that up and get it dialed in, if you have sound check or something, it seems like the automatic setting gets it a lot closer than you can get by just turning the dial. So I'll turn on the chorus a little bit because that likes to make a feedback. And then you push the button and it goes. And it grabs the feedback, it finds the frequency and kills it. And it barely changes the sound. I mean, you won't even be able to tell on the camera, and it's hard to tell sitting right next to it here. But it does change it just a little bit. But not enough to notice, so really cool. Alright, so here in the back you have your whole array of different output options and input options and some foot switch controls. Start over here on the left, you have two line outs, XLR balanced, I guess, for going to a PA or something, which is cool because you can run your effects in stereo and get the chorus, and it'll be a really wide sound if you can get it through the PA. There's also a mono out, which I've been using to record directly into GarageBand. It's kind of cool. I can use the amp to polish up my ukulele signal because I'm working without a decent mic right now. There's a subwoofer out if you have access to a powered subwoofer, and then some auxiliary ins with the RCA inputs and also left and right. And then there's a DI or tuner out, which you can take, I guess, to a recording board or to a tuner. And then hiding underneath the plug holder is two foot switch controllers, and those are for the reverb and delay and the chorus, also the mute feature and the anti-feedback. So you get plenty of options in the back. So overall, you got a lot of stuff to work with, and it sounds good to boot. Alright, the specs for this thing go as, it's 90 watts, 45 on each side, split through two 8-inch speakers, and there are also two 3-inch tweeters. It comes with a carrying case, and it's also got an option for a big stand on the bottom, but it also comes with a little fold out one, so you can rock the amp up and get a little more projection throughout the room if you have it at an angle up like that. So that's a cool feature. Another cool thing to add is that the amp comes with a very sturdy carrying case, which is nice because it is indeed a fairly large amp. Nothing giant, it's not a Marshall by any means, but it takes up a good, it would probably be a one load thing. Maybe you could carry your ukulele in another hand. But nice case, some strap locks to keep the top on. It's got a strap for your shoulder and a couple of pockets on the sides, and in the back there's a place to put the power cable. And on the top there's like an extra fold to make sure it's not gonna fall out anywhere. So if you need something, of course, I always recommend trying something out before you buy, but if you're looking for an amp, definitely give this one a go. I'm very happy with it so far, and I haven't had any issues as far as durability or reliability. So until next time, take care, and I'll see you down the road. Goodbye.